Good afternoon, Chef Hale. Just want to do a quick test to see if you're able to hear me.
Hello. Hold on
Hey,
a second. There.
Sure.
Hey.
Oh, why do you have my picture?
So if you go to,
Robert?
I don't know. So if you go up to the,
Oh, because that's on my phone over here. Okay, never mind. That's me down here.
can you get my live up there though? Instead of-
Wait, you're up there. How are you up there twice?
Yeah, hold on just a second. We're up there twice.
Sure.
This is me.
Do you see
That's
Amber?
I see both of just your icon, but not actual video.
There we
Now
go.
I see video. There you are, Chef. I see you. Go ahead and give everybody a wave. You're on.
Hello, everybody. Howdy.
Yeah. Oh, well, I want to take this time to introduce Chef Robert Hale from our friends at Texas Beef Council, and we're thrilled that you're able to join us today from the Texas Beef Council kitchen. And Chef, I'm just going to turn it over to you, and at the end, I'll come back and maybe if there's any questions and stuff, we'll be able to take those live with you.
All right, sounds great. Thank you, April.
Great. Thank you.
All right, well, hello, everybody. Good afternoon, and welcome to our home here at the Texas Beef Council. We appreciate y'all being here with us. We hope you have had a great day today. Sounds like there were some great demos and some great sessions. Obviously yesterday was a great day. We're super excited again to be here. We're going to do a little bit of a demo here for you, answer any questions that you might have. We'll have a good time doing it. So welcome to our home, like I said, here at the Texas Beef Council. We're in Austin, Texas. If there's some Texans in the group, not too far away from San Antonio. We wish that we would have been able to be in person with you, obviously. We enjoy being able to be face to face and doing these kind of demos and seeing your faces and all those good things. But unfortunately, with everything going on, we weren't able to do that. But thank you to the CIA for all the work and hard work behind the scenes for putting this together and pulling it off seamlessly. These digital and virtual events have become a little bit of commonplace, but still really hard to pull off, and especially in the background when you're trying to deal with and trying to herd chefs around to get videos and logos and those kinds of things. So thank you to Steve and April and the team there in the CIA and Lee Ellen and everybody. So all right, we're going to go ahead and get this kicked off. I have Amber and Ellie here with me. They are off screen. They're going to help me out. There's some hands. They're going to help me out here as we go along. But we're going to do a grilled adobo beef steak tacos with creamy Chipotle salsa and tequila pickled red onions. The recipe for this is in a PDF form on the app. So if you're on the app in this demo session, you'll see to be able to download the recipe. And if you have any questions, my email is there and we're able to assist you. Before we get started on that though, you might ask, who is the Texas Beef Council? And so if you were in the crowd and I could see you, I would call on you right now to tell us who we are. But since you can't do that, I will go ahead and tell you who we are. So here at the Texas Beef Council, we work for the 130,000 cattle producers across the great state of Texas. Okay, so for every head of cattle that is sold in the state of Texas, we receive $1 for research, education, and promotion. Okay, so those are the only three things that we're able and want to do with that money to promote beef. Myself working on, and my partner Russell Woodward, who you may know, working on the food service and retail side of the checkoff. So we get to work with chefs, food service professionals, culinary educators, post-secondary, and also high school. And so that's kind of what we do on that. We keep 50 cents of that dollar. We send 50 cents to our national organization, which is the Cattlemen's Beef Association up in Denver. That's the Beef It's What's for Dinner folks, which I'm sure you've heard before. Here in Texas, we are Beef Loving Texans. So that is our marketing moniker that you'll see. And more importantly, in the food service, you'll see Beef Loving Chefs. And that's who we are on the food service side. So you'll see all that. We also get another $1 from the state of Texas a few years back. As important as the cattle industry is to the state's economy, the state of Texas decided, hey, we need to make sure we're supporting this program. And so they actually were nice enough to give us another $1 voted by the farmers and ranchers of the state of Texas. We keep that whole $1. We don't share that with anybody else. And so that's kind of who we are at the Beef Council. We're able to do normal times, lots of taking chefs out and doing our pasture to play tour. So taking you all out and actually showing you the cattle industry and meeting cattle ranchers and families generations from generations from generations cattle producers here in the state of Texas. The factory farming thing does not exist here in the state of Texas. We are generational farming here. Just as much pride in taking care of the animals as we do the land. So, but we go out and show you that. And we're able to do that a little bit now virtually. And we do that, and you'll also see, if you go to our trade show booth, you'll see our Raw Truth About Beef. That is our new online training platform. It's free. You can go through those segments, and we'll take you all the way through the industry, okay, from pasture to plate. We'll take you all the way to receiving beef in the back of the house and how you do that and what to look for, and then some tips with cold storage and those kinds of things, all the way from cow-calf operators, from seed stock operators, seeing bulls and cattle and all of those kinds of things. So that's free on there, and it's also you can earn CEU credits if you are an ACF member. So if you need to get some CEU credits and certifications and those kinds of things are coming up, you can get credit for that and do that. So we'd love to have a part of that group. So you can log in for free at rawtruthaboutbeef.com. All right, so with all that said, I think it's time to cook. What do y'all think, right? So here's what we're gonna start first with, okay? We talked a little bit about steak. We just said steak right on that recipe. But what it calls for is the flat iron steak. So there's the flat iron steak right there. Hopefully y'all are familiar with the flat iron there out of the chuck. Got lots of great marbling to that. And we got two of those right here right now. And what we're gonna do is we're actually gonna put some smoke on those, okay? So obviously when you're outside in the grill or you're doing smoking, you can accomplish that lots of flavor from being outside, right? But you can also, whatever you can do outside, you can do inside in our professional kitchens, right? So I have my really cool tool here, the smoking gun, that I'm gonna put some mesquite wood in, and I'm gonna put some smoke on this, and I'm gonna seal it back up, let it get some of that flavor to that, so that we have that kind of nice smoky mesquite flavor that we're able to accomplish without actually going out onto the grill, okay? So let me put this just a little bit in here. Hopefully y'all have seen these smoking guns. You can get them pretty much any restaurant supply store or Amazon or anywhere like that pretty much has them now. So you just put that in there. Put this in here. The hardest part is kind of keeping it in there without all the smoke kind of going all over the place. But as I was saying earlier to a friend in here, this is kind of like my tunnel smoke when I come out for a football game, right? I get to come out and create that. So we won't make it that smoky. So you turn it on there, just get it going real quick. You see the air, you kind of saw it puff up there. We'll get the smoke going here. Again, mesquite, you can have all kinds of different wood, right? Apple, cherry, hickory, anything you can think of. They pretty much sell all those flavors. You can do it, so there we go. You can kind of see it filling up there, right? Obviously, if you have a vent system in a commercial kitchen, you're going to be able to vent that out of there. But so we'll get that in there. You want to let that go for just a little while. And just for TV purposes, we'll go ahead and cut that off now. Get all that out. And there you go. We're going to seal that up now. Try to seal it as tight as we can. If you can see it there, right? Got a little foggy in there, right? All right, so we're gonna set that aside. That's gonna be our flat irons. We're gonna go ahead and finish those off in the, excuse me for just a second. Woo, see, walkout smoke, I like it. We're gonna put those in the saute and saute those up here a little bit in just a minute, and I will go into the cooking process here. We also have some brisket that we're gonna show. We have some beef tongue also down there that I'll show you here a little bit later. And so any kind of beef, especially on these tacos, right, street tacos, you want to make sure you bite-sized stuff, cut real thin. The flat iron has such great flavor to it. Very versatile, very easy to use. Cooks up relatively fast. And obviously brisket, if you have a brisket you did the night before, or you have some leftover brisket from the night before, and you want to use it the next day in these tacos, I think that's a great idea. Also very versatile to use. With that, and any offal that you can think of, heart, kidney, tongue, any of those cheek meat, obviously go into there. Really great and tastes great with this this salsa recipe we have. So let's get to doing some the tacos here, but we're going to do some pickled red onions, right? And so here's some that we've did before. You see that color in there. I guess those have probably been in there for about 3 days, 3 or 4 days that we've had. And so we're going to go ahead and make those up for you real quick. Again, you had the recipe with you. We'll start with that red onion. I love it. It just appeared. First, I need my knife, though. All right, so let's get this going here. We want to just get some red onions. This is the size that we have right here, so obviously you can do that in a bigger mason jar if you need to, or they don't make them much smaller, but bigger handle, whatever you got, as long as you have the candy lid, right? Candy lid, and we're taking care of it. So, all right, so let's get that red onion going. There. There. Waste there. All right, so let's get this peeled up here. Again, I like that red onion. I like that flavor of the red onion when it's pickled. Obviously a little bit better than doing a white onion or a yellow on that. And I know Chef Hale was talking yesterday a little bit about the onions and the different flavors, and just to be careful with what you're marrying those flavors to. So, but we got the red onion here. Let's get some thin slices going. Piece of cake. All right, that should be good there. Let's go ahead and piece out some of those right there. We'll get them going in here. All right. Great smell already, especially with that mesquite smoke that I had going on those flat irons. I'm pretty happy about that smell. All right. So there we go with that. We also got some thyme, so we're going to go ahead and put some thyme in there now. So there we are, pretty easy pickling there. Probably not teaching you anything you don't know on the pickling side of that. Obviously, it's become more popular, I think, over the last 4 or 5 years. Lots of great chefs in the metropolitan areas in Dallas, Houston, San Antonio, Austin, doing some really cool thing with pickling. So I think, obviously, anybody's can do that. You got to be careful of your aging and those kinds of things, and paying attention to exactly what you're doing on that. All right. So here you go, right there. Right. So we're going to put in there next. We're going to put some honey in there. All right. So honey goes into the bottom. Over there. We got this from the Beehive across the out back on the ranch. Just kidding. Somebody did, but we did not. All right. There's that. So what else do we have here? So let's go ahead and put the tequila in there. So about half a cup of tequila goes in there, and we'll do the whole thing. Why not, right? A little bit of salt, black peppercorns. There you go, pretty color on those. All of those are going to go in there. And what do we have? Red. What do we got here? Apple cider vinegar, right? So a little bit of apple cider vinegar. Looks like we had about 1/4 of a cup. We'll fill that guy up a little bit. It's going to be a little close to being done there. All right. Somehow we didn't leave ourselves any tequila for afterwards, but maybe we have some. All right, so we're just going to seal that up there. Let that sit, do its thing for a couple days, maybe. I would say 24 hours at least before you want to do this, just to make sure it really has those flavors. You can kind of see the difference just when you started it, right? So before, just right now, right? So it definitely has that little pinkish comes out of the color on that. You do want to shake it. We did kind of play with that a little bit this morning. So make sure you shake that up. That's going to keep really well in your walk-in. Have that for, a month or two, if they last that long. Tequila is a little strong though, so be careful. All right, so let's clear that off. All right, so there's your pickled red onions with tequila, right? Good stuff. So we're gonna make a salsa now. Okay, so we're gonna go back to that salsa. And give me a second here to move this stuff around here just a little bit. So you got that adobo, right? So we're gonna have the adobo. And we're gonna put a little food processor up here. We're gonna make that salsa real quick, okay? So the peppers, right? So some awesome adobo juices in there with those Chipotle peppers. If you can see that color on there. I think those turned out really, really pretty. These are spicy. These do have a pretty good kick to them. So it does call for a whole 7-ounce can, I think. The whole can. Obviously, depending on your taste, you can go a little bit less. Amber said she wanted more, so we got to put double the amount in to make sure we have enough kick on that salsa, right? All right, so yellow onion. So now we get to go from red to yellow. All right, so we got the yellow onion. We're going to cut that up a little bit. Calls for just a couple slices is what it's going to call for. On there, you decide what a couple slices is. We're not exactly sure what that looked like, but I'm going to cut a couple slices. Obviously, our cuts here on our knife skills doesn't really matter all that much because we're going to put it in this, right? So we just want to get it to where it's thin enough where we don't have to mess with the noise of all that stuff too much. But we'll get a couple slices of that here. All right. So let's get this lid off here if I remember how to do this last time. Right?
Just lift it.
Just lift it. Do this here. It's a good thing I got a decent wingspan here, right? You know? My 6'2" is coming in handy today. All right, so we got a couple of those guys in there, right? So there we go. I'm gonna set those aside and we'll go a couple, right? So salt and pepper, already mixed that together. I actually used the salt. I had done some smoking, some salts yesterday with that same smoking gun, the same process. So I got some hickory here, some cherry wood, and apple wood, okay? So in this, I actually used the apple wood smoked salts, okay? So you can do that, you keep it in a sealed bag. That'll last, that smell will be in there until you go through it, I promise you. So really good way of doing it. I let that smoke go probably for about 15 minutes or so in each bag. Then you should be able to utilize that. Not gonna put it on the meat today because I've already smoked it, right? I already put that smoke on there, so I don't wanna double that up. So we won't use that, we'll just use some regular salt and pepper. But salt and pepper there, again with that apple wood that I did, all right? So that goes in there. All right, so we got garlic, right? Everybody loves garlic, correct? Yes, everybody loves garlic. So we're gonna just do 2 cloves in there. Again, my skills, I don't need to get crazy on the chop, but I do obviously wanna take those skins off of that. And again, you can vary on that recipe. If you don't like garlic, if you think it's too strong, or if you want a little bit more, obviously play with that a little bit. Here goes another one. They actually cooperated for me. All right. There we go with that. Now we're gonna go with those peppers, right? And that beautiful color. Let me grab a spoon here. On the tray. This one right on the tray there. So we're gonna start with, we'll just go. All of it in there, right? So there we go. All right, so there's our adobo. Thank you, ma'am. All right, cilantro. Let's get some cilantro here. Some beautiful, beautiful cilantro. We'll get the couple sprigs of that. Kind of ripped off there. I don't want to mess with the stems too much. If you're not too picky about that, you can go in with them, but we'll go ahead and knock that off. Cilantro, if you don't like cilantro, obviously you don't have to use it. It's not totally a have to. My wife is one of those that cilantro tastes like soap to her, so she cannot use cilantro. So anytime we're going out, especially if we're going to Torchy's Tacos or somewhere like that here in the Austin and in the Texas area, everything comes with cilantro. So I have gotten very good at making sure I order it without cilantro, and obviously the cooking that. So you can vary just like anything else. I will do just a quick little chop of that. Get it there. All right, that goes in. Now the fun part's gonna happen, y'all. We're gonna make some noise, right? So we're gonna put the lid back on. We're gonna put the lid back on. Y'all don't see what's happening off camera here. That's the best part. We just need to turn it around and see what's happening off camera. That's the fun part. All right, so slide those over there so I don't make a mess with that. Just some olive oil, right? So we're gonna drizzle that in as we go. You can pulse it. You can put it on, regular blend. We'll kind of see how it goes here and make sure that we use all of it. And I think it was, how much oil? Half a cup of oil. All right, ready? It's gonna get loud. Let's see. Maybe. All right. It almost got loud. Bear with us. Out. See, I tried to turn it away from me. Huh? Right. All right, here we go. We did it. All right, we did it. We think we did it. All right. So we take that off of there. I'm gonna slide this over here. Thank you, man. And that smells good. That is good stuff. Pour this up. Wait till you just see that color coming out. It's fantastic. All right, there's that. All right, there we go. So we got an awesome creamy, right? Chipotle salsa right there that we're gonna put on those street tacos. Bend over just a little bit. There we go. All right, so excited to have that on there. Again, super easy. I could hit it again with a little cilantro on top if you want to, just for some color to kind of go on that. We are good. So with that said, let's do the beef now, right? What do you think? Yeah, let's do the beef. All right, so the star of the show, right? Not the cheese and not the limes and not the avocado, even though those are going to be good eventually on there. We're going to slide over right now. We are going to cook up these flat irons that we have. Throw the salt back here real quick. All right. So let's get some heat on that pan. So get some heat going on the pan. What I have here is some beef tallow, right? So that's what I'm going to cook and sear off these flat iron steaks. You could use butter if you wanted to. You could use olive oil, or excuse me, an oil that's going to have a high smoke point, grapeseed or something like that. I love this tallow. I think it's a great product, a great use. Really gonna bring the additional flavor out in that flat iron. So we'll go ahead and put that on there. Get that going around. All right, hot pan. Make sure that pan is close as smoking hot as we can get. We're gonna just salt and pepper those up. Again, just plain salt here because we smoked. Remember, we put some smoke on there, so we don't need to do it again. Let's get some pepper. That's really all great steak needs. Flip it over, because where we come from does not come seasoned on both sides unless you do it on both sides, right? So here we go. We get it seasoned up on both sides. Salt, pepper. Yeah, that tallow is starting to melt there, so I think it's starting to get nice and hot. Again. All right, it's almost ready. I feel it. We're going to get these going. Yeah. All right. So nice sizzle on there. Want to get that crust going on it as much as we can. And saute. We're going to let that kind of get its mark, get going just a little bit. We'll go ahead and use up the rest of that tallow in there. Hopefully y'all have been able to use tallow before. If you can't get it, shoot me an email. We'll find a supplier, but your supplier should be able to, food service provider should be able to provide you tallow. It comes in usually in a decent sized tub that you can have it. You can also render your own tallow down, right? Absolutely, render that down. Make sure you get all the bits and pieces out of it there, kind of just like doing clarified butter, right? All right, so here we go. We got that going there. These are going to take probably about anywhere between 5 and 6 minutes on each side. Just depends on how you like it. I'm going to cook it to a perfect medium rare is what I'm going for. If you usually cook it over that, we usually say just start over in the industry, right? But if you like it a little bit more cooked, the good thing with these flat irons are, they're actually a cut you can go to a little bit higher temperature, and it's still gonna have really good flavor, still gonna be really tender. You're gonna have a really good cooking or eating experience with that. But again, I think medium rare is kind of more the way to go. Right? All right, so let's see what's happening here. They're looking good. I want to push them up here just a little bit. Get all that tallow kind of there. Out of the heat just a little bit. All right, let those do their thing just for a couple minutes there. We also have some brisket here that we've done up beforehand. What I have here for you, I can bring it right here for you. There we go. So we got some brisket already sliced up, already ready to go. Kind of hanging out in its juices right now. That had a mesquite wood on there, so that's a mesquite brisket, smoked brisket. I'm super excited about having that product there. We'll slice it a little bit thinner, and then we'll be able to use that on the tacos here that we're going to build here in just a couple minutes. Okay. All right. So we're looking on this. So I'll save this a little bit more. Well, I wish y'all could be here to smell this. Amber and Ellie have not eaten lunch yet, so they are waiting for me to finish this demo so they can have lunch. So, happy to do it. All right, so I think we're going to give a flip on these. They look like they're pretty good on the side. We might give them another minute or so here, just to make sure we get that really good crust on there. We want to have that first really good bite when we're able to do that. We'll go ahead and flip those over. The thing with the flat iron that you will see a little bit, if you haven't cooked these before, they will puff up a little bit, right? So I don't know if you can see where it kind of started. They will puff up in the middle, and that's okay. I'm sure there's a scientific reason behind that my partner, Russell, would be able to tell you with his heat science background, but I'm not going to go there. But they do puff up a little bit. Don't worry about that. It's natural, and that's the way they're supposed to kind of cook up, right? So we got that there. Baste them a little bit more. That tallow. Yeah, it smells great. All right. So it looks like we got about 13 minutes or so to go. So we are going to start, while those are finishing up, we're going to finish up the dish, okay? So with that, we have some avocados, obviously ready to go here, nice and bright. Just going to put some slices on the side of the avocado, great looking avocado. Let's see it. We can do that. Put around it. Come on. Well, it won't. So. I wanted to come right off last time. We'll just get in here. We're going to peel that avocado up and put a few slices down there. We are also, avocado kicking my butt. All right, so that steak is cooking up real nice. How do we know when that steak is done, right? If you were here, I'd be asking you those questions, and you'd be answering me as professional cooks and chefs. I know you would know the answer to that, but how do we know when it's done? Well, you kind of got that feel, right? We all got that feel when you're on the line and you're cooking hundreds of steaks at a time, right? You got lots of fires going, you got hot spots going, you got cold spots. You know, knowing your cooktop and knowing exactly what you're cooking on is always key. To know that, you know, over time you get pretty good at just being able to push on it and know, yeah, that feels done, that feels good. Saute those just up a little bit more. But there is a tried and true method, right? The thermometer, right? So get yourself a good thermometer if you don't have one. Obviously, most of you are already going to have that. When I taught the high school culinary students, you know, the biggest thing is how do I do it? Get it out of the pan, right? Go in the fattest part. We're still at about 125, so we got a little bit more time to go on that one. Again, out of the pan, so you're not getting all that heat from inside the pan. And we're about 125 right there, so they're cooking pretty evenly together. We're happy about that. Let's let them go for another minute or two here. Let's go ahead and get those slices up. The avocado. Add some great color to this dish. Something fun. All right. So we'll do that again. And this other side of the avocado, I'm actually going to make a little bit of a smash with this, with a little bit of that awesome creamy salsa that we made. And then I'm going to put that on a tostada, right? So we're going to smear that on the tostada, a little bit like Chef Hale did yesterday if you were here for his demo. Mixing it again with that awesome adobo sauce that we had. Could I get a glass bowl to mix that up with? It would be great. Thank you, man. All right. I'm going to flip these again just to get another good little bit of a crust on it. You can kind of see, right? We got that flaring up, popping up a little bit, so we feel good about that. It's puffy. The touch is bouncing back a little bit, so we're just about ready to take those guys off. We're going to do that. Right, so we'll get that avocado in there. Another spoon real quick. I'm going to mix a little bit of this in. That. A little bit more. There we go. And take this one back. Mash that just real quick. That was not super soft on me here. All right, we'll set that aside for a second. When we start building, we're going to go ahead and smear that on there. Clear my board off here just real quick. Thank you. All right. So I think our awesome flat iron, I think they're ready to roll. There we are. If you could smell those, you get close to see. All right, there we go. All right, so off we go. We want to let these rest a little bit, right? And how long do we want to let them rest? About 5 minutes, all right? So we took them off. They're probably around 130, 135. We're going to take them, let them sit there for another 5 minutes or so. Redistribute those juices, right? If you cut into them. Right now, it's going to be a mess all over my cutting board. It's just going to run, right? No reason to do that. Let them rest, sit there. They'll still be warm when you're ready to go. I know sometimes in back of the house we're in a hurry. We got to get them out and those kinds of things. But if you can just give it a couple minutes, I promise you that eating experience is going to be just even that much better. So, all right, we're going to, how much time do we have left there? About 7 minutes. All right, so obviously normally corn tortillas, we would have grilled them off real quick. You know, just hit them on top of your flat top real quick, get a little bit of color on there, do that kind of thing. Corn, flour, whatever you feel you can go with. Feel free to do that. Cheese, we got some cheese here. Got some queso fresco also here that we're going to cut up. Get that mixed in there with that cheese, so you have a little bit of garnish on the side there. Finish off these awesome street tacos. All right. Just a little bit smaller. You guys can see that. All right. All right. So get that in there. We're going to toss that around. Some big pieces out there. Just some really fresh cheese I have on there. Again, color with that. Get you some limes. Gotta have limes when you have tacos, especially with those margarita onions that are gonna go in there. Get some limes. All right, there's my limes. So we got limes over there. Let's go ahead and put that right to the side there. Has it been 5 minutes? Close enough, right? Yeah, there we go, close enough to 5 minutes. So let's go ahead and see if we can get these guys cut open a little bit here. Right. So real thin, right? Real thin. These guys are gonna cook up so nice and be so tender for you. It looks like I did pretty good. Got them perfectly medium rare, it looks like. So I get to keep my job for another day. That's good. That's a good thing. All right, so we're just going to line those up here. Let's get the steak under there. All right. A few more slices there. A few more slices. There we go. Let's get some of that brisket up there. Brisket tacos, could there be anything? Almost better than that. I would say flat iron, but brisket's pretty darn good, right? So we use those, we'll cut those just a little bit thinner on there. That had a little bit of what we call flavor, some might call fat, but that's flavor. Happy with that, got a nice smoke ring on that brisket. There you go. Leave those nice and thick on that. And all right. We'll do that, and there we go. And I think we've creamy chipotle salsa and tequila pickled red onions. There you go. Enjoy. We appreciate you all again for having us. Hopefully, if you have any questions, we might be able to answer those now. If we don't get to them now and you need that, want to do that in the where our booth is, please stop by. But April, is there any questions, or are you actually here, April? I thought I heard you come in.
I'm here. Actually, I was thinking about driving up there to see you because I think there's still time for me to come on over and have some of that, right?
Wow.
But I am here. You know what? We do have a couple of questions if you have time for, if you do have time. So we have a question. Okay, we have a question from Adolfo Cabrera, and he's asking if you can explain in short what is the difference in texture of grass-fed beef and corn-fed.
All right. You said in short. I have to do it in short.
Yeah.
Huh?
Yeah. So you have what? You have 5 minutes. So.
No problem. So cattle spend the majority of their life on grass, right? So they spend the majority of their time eating grass, eating foliage. So when it's a true 100% grass fed animal, so it started on grass and went all the way through. Now there's some different things that happen along the way, and it doesn't necessarily have to be just sort of, it could be hay, it could be some forage that they've eaten. Won't go too far in those weeds in there because we could get lost on that. But the texture-wise, the texture is not going to be really all that much different. The flavor, though, is going to be different, right? So if you think about it, grass, 100% grass-fed or grass-finished. If they're in Kentucky and it's a Kentucky bluegrass, probably going to have a little bit of tint of Kentucky bluegrass into that steak that it is. So perfectly fine. Some people love it. I prefer the traditional method with grain finished. But again, 80 to 90% of their life was on grass to begin with, so they definitely have that. You're going to get those flavors kind of no matter what. But I would say just be careful on where you're at. We've gotten much better over the years. Our cattle producers have of having that consistency in the product, and that their grass-fed tastes the same way each time, right? So if you like a supplier that's got a grass-fed and it tastes the same, the consistency is great, go for it. Absolutely.
All right, you have time for one more. We have a question from Jay Ganzorn, and he's looking for the best way to explain to his staff how to tell the difference from a New York strip loin from a ribeye without cutting it open.
Well, with X-ray vision, I mean, here's the thing, and Chef, if you could I will send you a chart and a poster that you're going to be able to share with your staff that'll show the difference between a strip loin and a ribeye roll, and it'll kind of give them the visual of what those two things look like. Obviously, size is your first kind of, of what is different. Hopefully it's labeled correctly when you got it in. But Chef, I'll send you some visuals so that you'll have to be able to pass out to your folks. And I think that may be the better way of going about that.
Fantastic. And we have just one more quick question. What is your favorite seasoning blend for the steak? I know you used salt there, but beyond just salt, what else are you using?
Well, it technically really doesn't need anything but salt and pepper, but no, I'm just kidding. I actually am kind of fond of the Montreal seasoning. I actually found one that it's called the Quebec seasoning. And I'm not sure my French-Canadian ancestry here. I'm not exactly sure why we named all those seasonings after the Canadian cities, but the Montreal is really good, great seasoning on that. Quebec actually has some red pepper flakes in it too to spice it up a little bit, so I really enjoy that. But anywhere around Texas that's got some really good spice rubs, feel free to use those, feel free to experiment, and whatever you think is the best for you. Obviously, I prefer to make it if I could. I think it's fresher. I think it has that taste that I like to it, and then I know what my family or what my guests or what in the restaurant might like. So play around a little bit. That's the best way to do. But yeah, that Quebec seasoning, check it out. I think they do a really good job.
Great. Well, thank you. I want to give a shout out to Christopher Anderson for submitting that question. And thank you to everybody else who is joining us. Chef Robert, it's always a pleasure to see you. We're looking forward to the next time we can welcome you back on campus and see you in person. I know we're all kind of on travel restrictions these days, but we are definitely looking forward to having you back on campus. We appreciate the support of the Texas Beef Council, and you guys you're great friends of ours, and we appreciate your time with us today. So thank you.
Thanks, April. Appreciate the kind words. And again, thank you to the CIA, and enjoy the rest of the conference, y'all. See y'all soon.
Great. Thanks, Chef.
Thank y'all.